You talking about this is making me think of all the recent, not the layoffs, but the people that are resigning over being asked to do things that they don't feel are correct.
They've got spines.
Yeah, they have spines, but
The problem is they'll be replaced by people without spines.
And that's what I was leading into is how do we balance having a hardened spine and also the fact that if you aren't willing to do it, they'll put somebody who is in your spot? Or is that kind of like just an unavoidable thing that we can't really do anything about?
Well, the question is, looking back on your life for 30 years, would you rather have done the right thing, or would you rather have bent and done the convenient thing? Now, this is easy to say if you're not faced with a situation. I would really like to believe that if I had been a German in 1933, I'd really like to believe that I would have opposed Hitler, that I would have been outspoken. I really would like to believe that of myself. However, would I have? And I don't know. Now, some Germans did. Significant numbers of Germans did, and they suffered. They went to jail, they were killed, or whatever. Would I be willing to do that? I wish I would be, but I don't know. So I guess what I'm saying is that it's probably always better to be principled rather than unprincipled, but it's easy to say if you're not faced with the situation.
Yeah, I just wanted to give you an opportunity to promote any of your books, promote any resources that you're a fan of. You just, really, is there anything that you want to shout out?
Well, the easiest thing for people to do is just to visit my website, which has an enormous collection of translations and images from the Nazi period. If you simply do a search for German Propaganda Archive, you'll get there. Or look up my name, and that'll get you there, too. I've got a couple of books, and depends on people's interest. My first book, years back now, was on Julius Streicher, the leading Nazi anti-Semite. That's still in print, and it looks at how he promoted anti-Semitism. Then I wrote the book I mentioned earlier, Spines, which is a comparison of Nazi and East German propaganda. Again, still in print, paperback, you can get a copy. It basically argues what I suggested earlier, that Nazism and Marxism and Leninism were a kind of substitute or a political religion that used many of the techniques of religion for nasty purposes. And my last book, I wouldn't recommend as much for the average reader. It was a collection of translations of Nazi speeches. And you can get more stuff than you'd ever want to do on my website anyway without having to buy the book. So yeah, I'd say first look at the website, German Propaganda Archive, if you're after both either the Julius Streicher book or the Bending Spines book.
Okay, great. And I will make sure to put your website in the description. Anything you want to say to the audience watching this? I don't know. Just closing thoughts, I guess. An opportunity for closing thoughts.
Have opinions, have a backbone, but be willing to consider the fact that you may not be 100% right. The other side may have just a little bit of truth and justice as well. But keep the spine, don't bend it.
Thank you for discussing all this with me.
Well, it was an interesting way to spend a morning in Sydney. It's a little, drizzly and rainy out there, so